Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Today we're going to go over the drag boat build. I'm going to walk you through my progress. I'm going to show you guys the tools I'm using. And just a quick video for you guys, a little update, okay? Happy Thanksgiving. All right, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. So stick around. If you're interested in the drag boat build, stick around. Big B with Ironclad RC. Let's get to it, you guys. Let's get to it. So we'll go over tools here in a minute. I need to get all these boats off the table. So we're building a drag boat, top fuel drag boat. And you know, one day I was just like, man, I want to build a freaking drag boat. So I designed one out of cardboard. I laid out some bulkheads, some stringers, and I designed one out of cardboard. And it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. And then I had some lumber sitting around, and I actually designed it. A second render. Actually, this is my third rendering. So this was my second cardboard boat. This is the third boat I built. I came up with this. And my stringers and bulkheads, they were a little thin. I wasn't happy with the way I had designed the bulkheads on this one. You know, so I went to get some lumber, and I got my third rendering right here. Okay, this is the final rendering. Final. I've been doing a lot of work to it. So I'll walk you guys through it. All right, let me get these other two boats out the way. Okay, you can actually see the progression of the hull as I've went through the different stages of my design process. Okay, I don't have used CAD work, so I basically designed my boat from cardboard to get a 3D rendering so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, then I laid it out on some thin wood, and then you guys see what I did. Used. So we'll go over to wood as well. So let me get this stuff here out the way. Boom! Alright. Oh man, she's turning out nice, you guys. So I used, I think it's 3/32 basswood for my bulkheads and my stringer. My son's in the background. I'm watching my son while my wife's out grocery shopping for Thanksgiving. So you have to kind of overlook my son back there. He's goo-goo gaga, okay? 3/32 basswood. I was going to use birch, but he actually accidentally ordered basswood, so I went with it, okay? It's actually pretty strong, pretty tough. I'm building the boat heavy duty. I want the boat to do at least 60, maybe even 70 miles an hour, okay? So I'm building it like ironclad, okay? I've got my this is what I'm going to glue my skins to. I got my glue up board notched, okay? It's all notched. Everything's notched and notched again, so it's going to be strong. Everything's done that way. I got my glue up boards here. They're notched and set into the bulkheads. I already got rubber bands holding it on for right now. I've got my secondary stringer. This is 1/32. What is that? 1/32 birch, or it might be 1/16. I think it's 1/16 birch as my inner stringer. Okay, I've actually got it. Do a little bit more trimming on my bulkheads to get it to sit in there straight, but I've got a little piece of wood right here. It's going to sit up against this, and then it's going to bend on that forward bulkhead to kind of bring my nose to a point right here. You guys see how I got it worked out? All right. I've actually got this right here notched. I got some strips of basswood. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Okay, it just came off. I got some strips of basswood. I've got this right here notched out all the way down, so I'll have something to glue my topside skin to right here. Okay, that's all notched out. I got my forward sponson bulkhead right there. Everything's notched out for that. Everything sits right. Okay, I was going to use the strips right here, but if I use the strips right here, I would have been gambling with the shape of my sponsons coming out on the money, you know. So I went ahead and cut this out of balsa wood. This glue board right here is what I've been calling it, a glue board. And I'm actually videotaping the whole process. Like, I'm not like filming the whole process, but after each step I'll show you and then explain to you what I'm doing next. That video will be coming out here shortly. But she's coming out nice, man. She's coming out really good. Everything's sitting flat on the setup board right there. All right, everything's asymmetrical. All right, she's sexy. She's sexy. You can start seeing how the boat's going to actually look. It's going to have stepped sponsons. All right, both of these right here will be touching the water underway. I changed up the original design. The original design, my ride surface would have been on this one, but I changed it up. Both of these will touch the water, so it's a stepped hydroplane. And I'm actually going to put a brake here. Probably put a little brake right there. You know, I got another step up here. It's going to be boss, you guys. All right, so let me show you guys the wood I'm using, and then we'll go over some tools. All right, so for my glue boards, my runner boards is what I'm calling it, glue boards. I'm actually using basswood. I've got 3 different sizes right here. I've got 1/16 by 1/8, 3/32 by 3/32, and I got 16th by 16th. Okay, the 16th ones is what I'm going to use for the hard bends, you know, in tight places, and the wider ones like this for like the open areas. I got different sizes so I can fit down into these little hard to reach areas right here when I have like a little runner down the boat right there. For the cabin and the hatch, it's going to be curved. It's going to be like rounded. So I picked out some balsa. All right, 1/16. I went with like a thicker balsa. Well, it's not thick, but so I can like sand it and shape it, you know. So we're going to be using the 1/16 by 3/16 for the curve on the cabin and the hatch. Okay, so that's kind of the strips I got. All right, let's go over the lumber. Okay, I showed you guys the strips. Let's go over the lumber. So for my transom, I'm using this 1/8 by 4 plywood. All right, this is plywood that will be perfect for my transom. I'll be mounting up my rudder and you know, all my hardware back there, which my drives will be coming out the bottom of the boat. There won't be a strut mounted on the transom, just the rudder. But at least I'll have something heavy duty back here. This boat's going to be heavy. It's going to have twin motor or 1 big motor, 2 ESCs or 1 big ESC, and a big battery. You know, it's going to be a heavy little boat. So I needed a nice, like, bones, a solid structure to build off of. So that's why I'm using the thick plywood. All right, now I built the bones with this 3/32 basswood, 3/32. All right, the stringers and the bulkheads are made out of this. Okay, it's heavy duty stuff, and it's kind of heavy, but the boat's going to be fast. Like I said, it needs to be heavy duty, ironclad to withstand high speed crashing. Okay, for the sump bottom, I was debating. I literally spent an hour debating on going birch or balsa. Okay, so I went with basswood. All right, 6 inches wide, 6-inch wide basswood, 1/16 thick for the bottom of my boat. Got to figure I'm going to have big batteries, big ESC, big motors in here, so it needs to be heavy duty, and I think that'll do it. I wanted to go balsa, but with my Atlas build, that little small build, I had a lot of issues with my balsa splitting and breaking, and you know, every time I touch it wrong, it would crack. So I'm going heavy duty. Okay, speaking of heavy duty, we're going to skin the boat with 1/32 basswood. Okay, it's thin stuff. All right, it bends easy. It should hold its shape. It should take a crash. All right. Yeah. So that's all of it. Oh yeah, and I got a piece of 1/16 balsa for like odd and end things like this that I don't want to add a whole lot of extra weight, but it needs the reinforcement, the backing, you know. So I got me a piece of 1/16 balsa for a little odd and end stuff like this, you know. So I'll go over some of the tools because I actually picked up a couple things that's actually been a freaking lifesaver. So let's go over the tools, kind of what I'm using, what I've used to get this far. I've cut all my bulkheads out of the basswood with my hobby knives, period. I've used hobby knives for the whole build. I picked up this little hobby knife set. It had 3 hobby knives. I had the other 2 or 3. It had 3 hobby knives in there, okay, and all the blades, and this heavy duty handle with the set, $10 at Hobby Lobby. I've used that. It's great. It's great. Hobby knives, you got to have a bunch of them. You know, I put different blades on them a lot of times, so I have it like laying down ready to go. I don't have to change them out. Since this set had a heavy duty handle, I went ahead and picked up this little pull saw. All right, almost like a flush cut saw, but this thing's been great. This thing's been absolutely great for building this boat. Like you see right here, see how I got this glue board right here, so I'll have something to glue my topside skin to. So I've actually notched each of my bulkheads, and I use this little pull saw to notch it out with, and it's been working out great. So I don't have to pull each bulkhead off, you know, especially on like little stuff like this. Now this, I actually pulled each bulkhead to cut this out. And I use this to notch those little notches right there. You know, it's been great. It's not aggressive, and it like doesn't tear or break the wood when you're pulling. So I actually red Loctited it on my handle because it was wanting to spin. It's just a cheap knockoff brand, but it works. It works. I use this little file right here a lot that Steve Lane sent me. It's real thin, you know, and then this bigger file for some of my bigger notches, that works out great. If I can't get my file in, I actually use this guy right here, this custom sanding board I made. All right, it's just a piece of basswood with sandpaper glued onto it, super glued onto it. But I shaved the end of it to nothing so I can get it into some like real fine places. Okay, I make sanding boards out of just about anything and everything, for anything and everything. If you have like this long one right here, it comes in handy for like getting into like a hard to reach place. You know, you can sand it, you know, cheap, fast, and it works. I went out to my table saw and cut some angles in some. Okay, that comes in handy for certain little scenarios. All right, little idea for you. Clothespins, gotta have clothespins or some kind of paper clips or binder clips or whatever for your build. As you guys see, you use them a lot. Well, I told my wife to get me some clothespins, and she picked up these, which were cheap. They're only a couple dollars at like Dollar General, I think, or something. But she said they didn't have wood ones, and she got me these. These right here, they actually got some spring to it, and I've been using them a lot. I like them. All right. While I was at Hobby Lobby, I ran across this little drill bit right here. It was in like the wood burning section, and it's a hand drill. My big drill, it don't hold small bits. I hadn't even used it yet, but I know I'll use it a lot. Sometimes you know you need a little tiny pilot hole starter that your big drill just won't cover, you know, and $10, a little drill bit set from Hobby Lobby. Now this guy right here helped me with the initial layout of my boat, get my bulkhead angles right. You know, I'm not even sure what the name of it is, but it came in handy, like building the boat, so I get everything true. You know, that guy there helps out. Got my rulers, a small and a big one. I use this guy right here. This guy here, it comes in handy like more times than I can even count. You know, just kind of seeing, sorry about my son, you guys. Just kind of like checking things, making sure everything's like the same width from a certain area. This thing comes in handy a lot. And I got my little square here. I'm using thin and thick CA. I don't really care for this CA, but it works. I actually prefer this stuff right here from Hobby Chest, my local hobby shop. Mr. Dan carries this stuff at Hobby Chest Jacksonville. I actually like this stuff better than that stuff. It actually kicks off quicker. But gotta have your CA. I use thin and thick. You know, you gotta have several bottles of it. You know, gotta have your baking powder. Okay, I don't throw any large pieces of wood away. You know, I try to keep all that stuff like little pieces, little small, even little small pieces like that. Like see right here, I had to actually shim up this one little area. I use all those small pieces for areas like that, so I don't throw away a lot of wood. This is all the wood left over from my Atlas build. You know, I don't even, hell, I'll keep that forever probably. But yeah, that's my tool set. That's kind of what I'm using so far. I haven't had to use anything else with my build. Well, I guess I did use this. Finding my my ride height, my ride angle. I use this guy right here. So I'm going to let you guys go. All right, let you go. The build's coming out great, man. I'm super stoked about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something, you know. Kind of went over some of the stuff I was using, you know. I really didn't have nothing planned for today, being holiday and everything. But I wanted to show you guys my boat and you know, enjoying my boat building process, enjoying my RCs, enjoying the hobby. You know, oh man, I'm sitting here like, you know, while I'm working on my boat, I'm like listening to a couple guys on YouTube I'm subscribed to, bitch. All they do is bitch because they're working on their cars. They got to work on their car constantly. You know, all the guy does is bitching about wrong part numbers being wrong, and like the littlest things, you know, like always bitching and complaining about this and that. The car's broken, the truck broke, or this is blah blah wah. You know, like, oh man, right when that guy comes on, I click it. Hopefully I don't sound like that bitching about my shit, which I try not to. Try to be positive, man. That guy, oh, I'm about to unsubscribe to him. You guys probably know exactly who I'm talking about, man. Crying, because he's got to work on his RCs. Big freaking crybaby. So, oh yeah, I had to get that off my damn chest. Jeez. So, hopefully you guys enjoy your TV dinner. I mean, yeah, your Thanksgiving dinner. Hopefully you're not eating a TV dinner on Thanksgiving. If not, give me a call. You can have some of mine, you know. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Big B, with Ironclad RC.